So, hello, today we will discuss a topic diuretics. So, what is known as a diuretics? So, these are the drugs which causes the net loss of sodium and the water in the urine. So, basically, what are diuretics? So, diuretics are the agents or a drug which causes the loss of a sodium or a water in a urine. So, this is the structure of a nephron. Uh, this part, the upper part is called the cortex and the lower one is the medulla. So these are the various parts of the nephron. This is glomerulus, this is PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, and this is thin descending loop of Henle. This is thick ascending loop of Henle, and this is distal tubule, and these are the collecting ducts. So each part of the nephron has their own function. So like glomerulus, they filtrate the small solute from the blood, and talking about the PCT, they reabsorb the ions and the water and as well as the nutrients and remove the toxin, and they also PCT also adjust the filtrate pH. So next is the function of the thin descending loop of the Henle. The thin descending loop of Henle has aquaporins. So the aquaporins allow the water to pass from filtrate into the interstitial fluid. So next is the function of the thick ascending loop of Henle. So thick ascending loop of Henle reabsorb the sodium and the chloride from the filtrate into interstitial fluid. Next is the function of the distal tubule. So distal tubule selectively secretes and absorb different ions to maintain the blood pH and the electrolyte balance. So next is the function of the collecting ducts. So this will reabsorb the solute and the water from the filtrate. So this is all about the nephron and the different parts of nephron functions. So here we only focus on the drugs. So in diuretics, the drugs include, first one is loop diuretics, thiazides, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, potassium sparing diuretic, and the osmotic diuretics. So these are the various drugs which act on the various parts of the nephron, like loop diuretics will act on the thick ascending loop of Henle, thiazides will act on the distal tubule, carbonic anhydrase will act on the PCT. So let's get discuss these drugs one by one. So first drug is the loop diuretics. So in loop diuretics we have two categories. One is sulfonamide derivative and the second one is phenoxyacetic acid derivative. In the sulfonamide derivative we have furosemide, bumetanide, torsemide like drugs, and in the phenoxyacetic acid derivative we have ethacrynic acid like drug. So the mechanism of action of loop diuretics is it will inhibit the sodium potassium 2 chloride transporter in the thick ascending loop of Henle. This is very important point, that it will inhibit the sodium potassium 2 chloride co-transporter in the thick ascending loop of Henle. So remember guys, loop diuretics are the strong acting or the shortest acting drug. So the use of the loop diuretics is, it is used in the management of acute pulmonary edema. It is used in the edema associated with the CHF and the edema associated with the liver cirrhosis, chronic kidney disease, and the nephrotic syndrome. And due to its short or strong acting, it is also used in the hypertension, but it is mainly used in the edema purpose, mainly used for the CHF. So some of the point regarding the loop diuretics, that suppose person on a loop diuretics and having a impaired renal function, so we have to increase the dose of the loop diuretics. And next point is torsemide is more effective than furosemide in CHF, which is seen clinically. And ethacrynic acid, that is derivative of phenoxyacetic acid, it is a ototoxic drug. And the next is there is a risk of hypokalemia as well as arrhythmia when it is combined with the QT prolonging drugs. So uh, some more points that it will decrease the amount of the sodium as well as magnesium as well as chloride, and it will increase the amount of the sugar in the body and also increase the amount of the uric acid in the body. So this is about the loop diuretics, that it is a strong or short acting. It will inhibit sodium potassium 2 chloride co-transporter in the thick ascending loop of Henle, and it will decrease the amount of sodium, magnesium and chloride and increase the amount of the sugar or uric acid in the body. On the other hand, we have thiazide diuretic, which is weak and the long acting. Due to its long acting, it is used in the first line drug in the management of the hypertension. So in this category, in this thiazide, we have two categories. One is benzothiazines and second one is thiazide-like drugs. In benzothiazines, we have hydrochlorothiazide, hydroflumethiazide, and benzothiazide. Whereas on the thiazide-like drugs, we have indapamide-like drugs. So the mechanism of action of these thiazides is it will inhibit the sodium chloride syn-porter. So next is the uses of the thiazides. It is used in the management of the hypertension. It is also used in the management of edema associated with CHF, liver cirrhosis and chronic kidney disease, and the edema associated with the nephrotic syndrome. And next use is it is used in the management of nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, or it is also used in the management of kidney stone associated with the calcium crystals. So some points regarding the thiazides is that it is used in the first choice of treatment of a drug for the management of the hypertension because of their long acting nature. Next is if person have a kidney impairment, so we have to give the higher dose of the thiazides like drug. And the second, it will increase the plasma glucose level as well as LDL level in the body. Same like the loop diuretics, it will decrease the amount of the sodium, decrease the amount of the magnesium, decrease the amount of the chloride in the body, and it will increase the uric sugar as well as increase the amount of the uric acid in the body. But here the important point is thiazides will retain the calcium in the body, whereas loop diuretics also loses the calcium in the body. Loop diuretics will lose the calcium in the body, whereas thiazides will retain the calcium in the body. One more point is that loop diuretics are also called the high ceiling diuretics. High ceiling means as we increase the dose of the drug, the response of the drug also increases. So this is all about the loops and the thiazide. So third is carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. So in this category, the drug include acetazolamide like drugs. So the mechanism of action of this drug is that the luminal membrane of the PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, has sodium and hydrogen antipode. So what happened there is a presence of a carbonic anhydrase enzyme. This enzyme do the absorption of the sodium and the bicarbonate ion. So if we inhibit the carbonic anhydrase, then there will be a excretion of the sodium and the bicarbonate in the urine. So this drug are used for the management of glaucoma, epilepsy, altitude sickness, diuretic resistance, metabolic alkalosis, and familial periodic paralysis. And the side effect of this drug include hypersensitivity reaction, bone marrow suppression, hypokalemia, and metabolic acidosis. So this is about the carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. So next drug is next category of drug in diuretic is osmotic diuretics. So in this category include drugs like mannitol, glycerol, and isosorbide. So the ideal property of the osmotic diuretics is that it should exert the osmotic effect or has pharmacologically inert, and it should not be reabsorbed, or it should be freely filtered in glomerulus. So the main site of action of the osmotic diuretics is the loop of Henle, is the major site of the site of action of these drugs. So these drugs are mainly used in the elevated intraocular pressure. So whenever the intraocular pressure or intracranial pressure get elevated, it is used there, or it is used in the urological irrigation, or it is used in the dialysis disequilibrium syndrome, and it is used in the management of some overdose drugs, it is used when there is a overdose of a cisplatin like drugs. So this is about the osmotic diuretics. So next drug in the diuretics is potassium sparing diuretics. It means that it will spare the these drugs will spare the potassium in the body, and except the potassium, all other ions will go out from the body. So first in this category, the first drug is first drug is amiloride. So the mechanism of action of this drug, it will do the inhibition of the renal epithelial sodium channels. So these are the uses of these drugs. These drugs are used in the management of hypertension, management of edema associated with the CHF, liver cirrhosis, and chronic kidney disease. This drug amiloride is also used in the management of Liddle syndrome, and it is also used in the lithium-induced nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. So this is about the potassium-sparing diuretics, which will inhibit the renal epithelial sodium channel. In this, the drug is amiloride-like drugs. So next is aldosterone antagonist. In this drug is spironolactone and aptly known like drugs. So these drugs are also the potassium sparing drugs. So these drugs act from the interstitial side of the tubular cell and inhibit the aldosterone receptors there, so that aldosterone will not do their work. So the uses of this drug include, it is used in the management of hypertension, edema associated with the CHF, liver cirrhosis, or the chronic kidney disease. Or this drug are also used in the management of hyperaldosteronism, or these drugs are also used in the management of PCOD, that is polycystic ovary disease. So and the important point is the main side effect of the spironolactone include gynecomastia, impotence, and menstrual irregulation. So this is about the potassium sparing diuretics. The here the point to be noted is that carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, osmotic diuretics, and the potassium sparing diuretics are the weak diuretics. They are generally used in the combination with the loop or the thiazides like diuretics. So this is all about the diuretics. For more details, you can refer Goodman and Gilman. So thank you.